Hey, welcome back to Return to Yehovah. I had a thought a little earlier today that it was just one of those, I wanted to share that with somebody, so I had to scribble it down on a piece of paper because I didn't have a way to do anything on video yet. Anyhow, here's the thought, I'm not really sure what it came from, where the idea came from, but I felt like this phrase went through my head. There are sheep still out there. Like, imagine that there are still more of God's people that have not been brought into the fold that are still out there waiting to hear his voice. We've all heard how Yeshua said, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. And he said they won't follow another shepherd or whatever because they know his voice. Now, why it is in this world that, we don't all come at the same time, is only because it's part of God's grand scheme of things. But it gave me a little encouragement to think that, if I or others are sharing things of God on the internet or just with people we come across, we never know when somebody might hear something that resonates with their spirit. They hear some truth from the Bible and just inside a little bell goes off, ding, and it's, they realize that's truth and they decide they want more. And then it starts them on a path to get back to God. Whether they know that's what they're doing at the time, I don't know. But along with this idea, I couldn't help but think that, we talk about Christian persecution in other countries, and like in America in the West, it exists, but not to the level of Christians being killed and beaten and all that, or very rarely. But there is this huge idea out there that Christians are intolerant, just bigoted, closed-minded, kind of people that just can't accept people for their other lifestyles or the ways they choose to do things in life, and of course all of us can understand why they would think that. Nobody likes to be judged by another person, especially one who, comes across as holier than thou or whatever. But along the lines of the lost sheep still being out there, I started thinking that, okay, obviously the enemy, Satan himself, wants people to believe that we are bigoted. And when I say Christians, I mean believers in Yeshua. There may be plenty of people that go to the churches and call themselves Christians, but they won't say one word against, some of the lifestyles that are out there and shown to the whole world or whatever. And not that we necessarily have to be walking up to people and telling them you're a sinner or something like that. That's not the point. But, while the enemy has people believing that the followers of God are just bigoted, intolerant people, meanwhile, of course, he uses that to keep the people that are under his deception protected or insulated from the truth. And the last thing he wants is more of the truth to be out there to maybe seep in through the cracks, and maybe one of his victims might hear something and escape, So anyhow, I guess I'll just, I wasn't going to make this a long, involved thing, but I do think I want to develop the idea, because I know there's other scriptures, and it's in one, if not more, of the prophets, where God himself talks about how, he's upset that the pastors or basically the religious leaders of his people, have led people astray or let them wander off or whatever, and they don't go after them. They've not done anything to go after his sheep. And somewhere he says something like the idea that he is going to go find them and gather them. And of course, we know Yeshua taught the parable of the shepherd who had like 100 sheep, and only one strayed away or wandered off, and he went and found it. And he was thrilled that he had found the one that was lost, you know. And but yeah, it's just the idea. So if you are doing a little YouTube channel, or maybe a big one, or if you're just sharing with people that you meet day to day, you know, keep at it. Because you never know when somebody that might just happen to come across something you say, as long as you're telling the truth and speaking truth of God, somebody might have that little bell go off, and then they turn and get back to Yehovah, you know. So I guess that's essentially what I wanted to share today. Hopefully that rings true with a lot of you. Anyhow, Yehovah bless you and keep you, and shalom for now.